Welcome to lecture number 24 of the series Unreal Engine 5.1 for Archviz, and in today's lecture we'll learn how you can download free textures and free assets from Quixel Bridge Megascans library. So let's get started. First of all, let's open this level. Let's drag these visual effects in my scene folder. Okay. Let me increase my camera speed. Now, before we download free textures from Quixel Bridge, what we need to do is we need to divide this floor, this surface into three different surfaces, one for each, one for our living room, one for our bathroom, and one for a bedroom. Okay, so we need to divide this surface into three different surfaces so that we can apply three different materials to each of these. Okay, so let's go back in Blender. Okay, here we are in Blender. So let's hide this exterior. Let's select this surface and let's add a loop cut. Let's go into the top view and I'll add a loop cut and snap it at this point. At this point actually. Yeah. Okay. Let's create another loop cut and snap at this point. Yeah. And I'll create another one and I'll snap it at this point. Yes. Let's take these faces and let's delete their vertices. I'll go into the top view and let's select these vertices that cover my bathroom and I'll separate them by selection. Similarly, I'll select this area that covers my living room. I'll select all of these vertices and I'll just separate them by selection. Okay, now we have three different compartments, one for our bedroom, one for our bathroom, and one for our living room. Okay, yes. So now let's take all of these. I'll go into edit mode. I'll select all of these and let's extrude them in z-axis by 0.1 meters. Yeah, okay. Now let's take these exterior faces because I want to apply a different texture to them. So I'll take these exterior faces. Let's select these vertices. And let's separate them by selection. Okay. Yeah, we have this one separated because I want to apply a different material. Let's take this bathroom floor and let's select the exterior vertices and I'll separate them by selection. Yeah, similarly, I'll select this one, select the exterior vertices and I'll separate them by selection. Okay, now take all of these exterior faces. I'll press Ctrl J on my keyboard to join them. Now I'll go into edit mode. I'll select all of my vertices and I'll merge them by distance so that all of my overlapping vertices are removed or merged. Okay. Yes. Now as we are in Blender, so let's do one thing. What I actually want is I want to apply different material on my interior side of this wall and a different material on my exterior wall. Okay. For all of these walls, we have two options. What we can do is we can add two material slots for this one mesh, or what we can do is we can just divide this mesh into exterior or interior. Okay, so I'll just separate my interior walls. I'll go into edit mode. Let's add a loop cut and snap at this point because I don't want this interior color on the outside of the wall. So I'll select this face and I'll just separate this one by selection. Similarly, I'll select this wall, select the interior faces, and I'll just separate them. Let me hide my wall decodes and I'll go into edit mode. Before separating this one, let me add a loop cut in here because I want to add a different material on my bathroom wall. Okay, now let's select this face and I'll separate this one by selection. Similarly, I'll select these faces and I'll separate all of them by selection. I'll select these faces and I'll separate them by selection. Yeah, okay. Now let's unwrap all of these. Let's select this one and I'll unwrap it. I'll take this one and I'll unwrap it. My seams are marked. All I have to do is just select them and unwrap them. Let me select this wall as well and I'll separate this one by selection and let's unwrap it. And I'll take this wall as well. Let's add a loop cut and let's separate this one by selection and I'll unwrap it. Okay, let's take the living room floor and all our seams are marked. Let's select everything and I'll mark the seams and I'll take this edge and this edge, this entire edge, and let's clear the seam. I'll select everything and I'll unwrap it. Let's take the bathroom floor. I'll select everything and I'll mark the seam and I'll unwrap it. Let's take the bedroom floor. I'll select everything. I'll mark the seams. I'll select this edge and I'll clear the seam. I'll select everything and unwrap it. Okay, now let's take the exterior faces. I'll select everything and I'll unwrap it. Okay, yes. Now before we export all of our walls in FBX, let's verify if we have any bad normals. I'll go into face orientation mode. And yes, we do have bad normals. I'll select all of my floors. And I'll press Shift N on my keyboard to recalculate the normals. Let me select this one, select everything, and I'll press Shift N on my keyboard to recalculate the normals. Yeah. And I think now it is ready to be exported in FBX. So I'll select my walls collection and I'll press Q, export that in FBX, exports, walls. I'll select my Blender to Unreal preset and I'll just export it. Let's go back in Unreal Engine. Okay, so here we are in Unreal. Let's go into the 3D models. I'll go into this walls folder. Now we cannot just select all of these and re-import them just like we did earlier because the number of objects that we had in our walls collection is not the same as we do now. We took our surface and divided into 3 separate objects. Then we divided all of our walls into exterior and interior sides. Now we have different number of meshes in our FBX collection. We have 12 objects in this FBX file, but now we're gonna have a lot more. So we cannot just re-import them. What we need to do is we need to select all of these and delete them. Delete them from here as well. And we need to re-import our FBX file. So let's select this walls FBX file and I'll open it and I'll import everything. Okay, now I'll select all of my static meshes. Now as you can see that we have 25 static meshes. We only had 12 static meshes beforehand. So this is why you cannot just re-import this time. Okay, I'll drag all of these static meshes into my scene. And let's type in the location values. Yeah, okay. Yes. Now, as you can see that we have separate interior and exterior faces. Okay. Now, if you cannot see the other side from this view, just don't worry about it. Okay. Once you have that rooftop over these walls, it won't be noticeable. Okay. Just ignore that for now. I'll hide this one. Okay. Yes. So let's now download free textures from Quixel Bridge Megascans library and use them in our scene. Okay. Let's first save all of these. Okay, so now to go into Quixel Bridge, what we need to do is I'll select this icon and let's select Quixel Bridge. Okay, so here we are in Quixel Bridge. This is the library from where we can download a lot of assets and textures for free. Okay, it contains 13,832 free assets that you can use in any of your projects. Okay, for example, let's go into this 3D assets collection, and here we have a lot of assets that we can use in our projects. We will use a few of these as we go along this series. Okay, let's now go into the plants collection, and we have some very nice plants that we can use in our projects. We'll also download these plants, especially the grass, and we'll use them in this project once we move on to the foliage section. Okay, but now we need to download textures, so let's go into this surfaces collection, and we have a lot of collections for our surfaces, for our textures. Okay, we can download asphalt textures, we can download snow, sand, roofing, rock, marble, and fabric. Okay, let's find a texture for our walls. Okay, I'll go into this plaster collection and I'm gonna use this texture for my walls. To download a texture, what you can do is I'll just select my texture that I want to download and I'll just click on this download button. Okay, you can select the quality that you want to use. The highest quality we have in here is the 8K, the high quality is the 4K, and the medium quality is the 2K. For now, we're gonna just use the high quality. It is more than enough for our project. Okay, I'll select this texture. I've already downloaded this texture, and to add this texture in my project, I need to click on this plus icon. Let's minimize Quixel Bridge. And as you can see that in our content folder, we have a new folder known as Megascans. Let's go into this surfaces folder. Let's go into this folder and we have the texture that we just downloaded. Now to use this texture on this wall, just drag this and drop it on the wall. All we have to do is drag and drop. Okay. What you can also do is I'll select this wall. I'll select this texture. You can also click on this arrow to put this material on that wall. Okay. Yes. Let's open this material instance. And another plus point that you have if you download something from Quixel Bridge is that you have a lot of controls, a lot of settings that you can tweak for your material. Okay. For example, if I want to tweak the tint of my texture, what I can do is I'll just check on this box and let's open tint color. And I can tweak my tint color just like that. Let's make it a little bit darker. Yeah, okay, I think this is fine. Yeah, I'll press OK. Let's have a closer look. Let me hide these windows. And let me increase my exposure. I'll select my post-process volume and let's increase the exposure. I'll select my sun sky and let's adjust the direction of light. Yeah, okay. I'll select my material instance and let's tweak some more values. I want this to be, this is just too rough. So let's decrease this to 0.6 or 0.4, 0.5 for now. Okay, 0.5 is okay. Also, I want this texture to be, yeah, let's tweak the tile size. Let's type in 3. Yeah, okay. And let's increase the normal. I'll increase my normal strength to 2. Yeah, it looks nice. Yes. Let me decrease my roughness because I still think it is just too high. Yeah, okay. So we have successfully downloaded a texture from Quixel Bridge and applied it to one of our walls. Okay, let's now create a copy. And I want to reset this albedo tint. And let's add this texture on the other walls. Yeah, okay. Now, if you notice that there is a little bit of imbalance between the tile size of the textures, what you can do is create a copy, apply new material to that mesh, and let's scale down the tile size. Yeah, okay, it looks much better now. Yes. Let's now go back into the Quixel Bridge library and let's download a few textures for our couch. Okay, I'll open Quixel Bridge. Let's go into the fabric collection. And we have a lot of nice textures that we can use for our couch, but I'm gonna select this one. Okay, so I'll just add this into my project by clicking on this plus icon. Okay, and we have a new texture in here under the surfaces folder. Yeah, let's apply this texture on this cushion. Let's tweak the tile size. I think 4 is fine. Yes. And apply the same material on my other cushions. See how that looks. I want this to be a grayish sort of color, so what I can do is let's bring down our contrast. I'll enable my albedo controls and let's bring down this contrast. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay. And because this is a leather texture, so let's decrease the roughness. Let's type in 0.5 or 4. Yeah, I think 4 is better. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's create a copy of this texture and I'll apply this texture on my couch arms. And I want to adjust the tile size. Let's make it 5. Yeah, I think 5 is okay. And I'll apply this texture on my other arms. Let's apply the cushion texture on the other couches as well. Yeah, okay. Let's create another copy and I'll apply this texture on my base of the couch. Let's open this one to adjust the tile size. I think tile size of 7 should be okay. Now let's try 9. Yeah, I think 9 is okay. Let's change this to 7 or 8. Yeah, okay. And apply the same texture on this mesh as well. Similarly, I'll apply this texture on this mesh. And I think this is fine. Let's create a copy and let's tweak the scale of this texture. I think 6 should be fine. Yeah, okay. I'll apply this similar texture on this mesh as well. And let's apply this texture on this one. I think the tile size is uneven, so let's create a copy and let's adjust the tile size. Let's try 8. Yeah, I think 8 is fine. Yeah, okay. Let me decrease my camera speed. Okay, so we have added the fabric texture on our couch. Let me take this texture and I'll apply this texture on this mesh. Now let's go back in Quixel Bridge and look for some new textures for our cushions and our blanket. I'll open Quixel Bridge and let's look for another texture. I'll use this one. Okay, let's add. Yeah, it is only available in medium quality. Okay, anyways, I'll add this into my project. Yeah, okay, and let's apply this texture on this cushion. Let me increase my exposure because I think it is too dark. Let's open this texture and let's tweak some settings. It is just way too scaled up, so let's adjust the tile size. Let's try 15. Yeah, I think 15 is okay. To rotate this texture by 90 degrees, I can type in 0.25 on this rotation angle. Okay, I want this to be a grayish sort of color, so let's decrease the contrast. Let's bring down our saturation and then we have a very nice texture for our cushion. Yeah, now I'll apply same texture on this one as well. And for this cushion, let's go back in Quixel Bridge and I'll look for another texture. Let's use this one. Okay, I'll add this in my project. Okay, and let's apply this texture to this cushion. Let's open this material instance and I'll tweak the tile size. Let's try 5. Let's try 7. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 7. Okay. To make this a little bit darker, what I can do is I can increase my contrast just a little. Okay. Yeah. Let's now download a texture for this blanket and these cushions. I'll go back in Quixel Bridge. And I think I'm gonna use this one. So let's download this in high quality. Okay, so our texture is downloaded. So let's add this into our scene. Okay, now let's drag and drop this texture on this cushion. Okay, and I'll do the same thing for this one. Yeah, let's increase the tile size. Let's try 3. I think 5. Yeah, I think 5 is okay. Yes, let's save everything. Yes, let's download a texture for this blanket. I'll go back in Quixel Bridge. Let's use this one. I'll download the high quality texture. I'll add this texture in my project. And I'll drag this material instance on my blanket. Let's tweak the tile size. Then is fine. You can also tweak the brightness or contrast, but for now I'm gonna just keep it as it is. Let's now download a texture for this floor. I'll go back in Quixel Bridge and let's go into the marble collection. We have some very nice tiled textures in here as well, but for now I'm just gonna go with this one. Let's add this into our project. And I'll drag and drop this texture on my floor. Let me increase this camera speed. Okay, let's open this texture. Let's adjust the tile size. 5 is, I don't think 5 is okay. Let's try 9. 10 should be fine. Yeah, okay, 10 looks okay. Yes, let's now tweak the brightness and contrast. I'll increase my brightness by just a little. Okay, yes, and let's increase the normal strength. I'll try 3. Okay, okay, so let's now apply material to our kitchen cabinets. Let me first adjust my sun sky. Let's decrease the exposure. I think the exposure is okay. Let's just keep it as it is. Okay, so you can go in Quixel Bridge and download a wooden texture or whatever the texture you like. Okay, but for these kitchen cabinets, I'm just gonna create a new material by myself from scratch. So let's go into the materials folder. I'll delete these two. Let's create a new material. I'll rename this as kitchen underscore cabinets. Okay, let's open this material and it will open my material editor. Now to add the base color node, I can press 3 on my keyboard and I'll click my left mouse button. But it is a very lengthy procedure because I always have to convert this to parameter and rename every parameter again and again. What we can also do is, by hovering your cursor over this base color, I'll press my right mouse button and I'll just promote this one to parameter. And it will bring in my base color node, and it will also convert my base color node into parameter, and it will also rename it. Okay, so it is much easier this way. Let's now bring in specular node. I'll click right mouse button and I'll promote this one to parameter. Similarly, I'll bring in my roughness parameter as well. Okay, let's set the maximum value for roughness to be 1. I'll do the same thing for my specular as well. Okay, let's apply this and let's create a material instance. Okay, and I'll apply this material instance on my cabinets. Let's tweak the base color. I'll bring this all the way up. I'll type in 0.9 because I don't want this to be completely white. Okay, yeah. I'll bring my specular way up and let's type in roughness of 0.5. Or 0.2. I think 2 is okay. Yes. Let's add this material on other cabinets. Okay, let's create a copy and let's change this color to black for 0.05. Okay, I'll apply this material to this mesh. You can also apply this material on some of these cabinets or drawers to add just a little bit of variation. Okay, yes, let's add this material on the upper cabinets. Yeah, okay. I'll add similar material on my bookshelf as well. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes, so I think, yeah, that's it for this lecture. In today's lecture, we downloaded free textures from Quixel Bridge Megascans library and we applied those textures on our living room. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll download some more textures from Quixel Bridge Megascans library and we'll apply them on our bedroom. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next lecture.